Welcome back, 4th grade. Here's some more information you'll need for math that started last week. The next topic that we talked about was prime and composite numbers. I want to make sure you can tell the difference between them. So a prime number is a special number that only has two factors. Remember, factors are those numbers that you multiply together to get a product, and the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Prime numbers are special because they only have two factors, 1 and whatever number you're talking about. Composite numbers are a little bit more complex. Composite numbers have multiple factors. One trick that I want to teach you to be able to tell whether a number is prime or composite is whether or not the number's even. Remember, even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So whatever number you're talking about, if that last digit of that number is one of these numbers, you know that it's an even number and it can be divided by 2, which means it's a composite number. It's not a prime number. Now let's take an example and kind of go through one of the problems to determine whether something is prime or whether it's composite. So let's take the number 32, for example. If I want to list the factors of 32, I can certainly do that. I know right away that it's a composite number. Why? Because this last digit is even. That means even numbers mean that you're going to end up with a composite number because it can be divided by 2. So I know that 32 is composite. I want us to go ahead and practice finding the factors of 32 because it's a skill that we're going to need this chapter. So let's go in and do the most obvious one first. 1 times 32. Now, part of my strategy is to go to the next largest number and let's check and see if that number can be divided by that number. So if I have 32 and I've already looked and I know that 2 is an even number, I know that 2 times something is going to equal 32. So strategies you can use to help you find that are counting by 2's. You can do a division problem. Let's do a quick division problem and see what we find out. If we have 32 and we divide it by 2, let's see what we get. How many 2's fit into 3? 1. 2 times 1 is 2. You subtract and bring down the next number. Start again. How many 2's fit into 12? Well, 6 of them do. So 6 times 2 is 12. We subtract, and we now know 2 factors that make 32. So we've got 2 and 16. In my last video, I talked about how to find out if a number was divisible by 3. The way you do that is by adding the digits and seeing if that number can be divided by 3. So if I take 3 and 2 and add them together, I get 5. Can 5 be divided by 3 without any leftovers? Nope. So 3 is not one of the factors of 32. Let's try 4. Well, how many 4's fit into 32? Again, you can use the strategy of using multiples to help you. You can count by 4's, or you can do a division problem also. Whatever's easier for you. So if I take 32 and I divide it by 4, well, here I am again. I'm going to have to use those multiples because there's not a way for me to put a 4 into a 3. So let's count by 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. So old school with my fingers here. I know that 4 times 8 is 32. So I've now found the other factor. Okay? I can check and see if it's divisible by 5, again using my tricks. Does this number end in a 5 or a 0? No, so it's not divisible by 5. You can't count by 5's and get 32. What about 6? Well, 6 has another trick that I haven't shown you yet. To find out if a number is divisible by 6, it has to be divisible by 2 and 3 because those are factors of 6. So let's check our list. It's divisible by 2, but it's not divisible by 3. That means it can't have 6 as a factor. Okay? 7. We'd have to count multiples of 7. Is 32 a multiple of 7? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35? Nope. The next one would be 8, and we've already found that 8's a factor. So we have found all the factors of 32. And again, just for practice, we're going to list them in order. So smallest to largest. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. And using my rainbow trick, let's make sure that they all match up so we have them all listed. 1 times 32, 2 times 16, and 4 times 8. We've successfully figured out all the factors for 32 because it's more than just 1 times 32. We know it's a composite number, and because it was an even number, we know for sure. Let's do one more and see what we find out. Let's try 17. All right. Now, we know that it's an odd number, so it could definitely be a prime number. Let's add that to our list over here to help us remember. Not every odd number is a prime number, but a prime number has to be odd to be a prime number. So let's try our first and most obvious choice, 1 times 17. Now, can 17 be divided by 2? Well, it's not an even number. 7's not an even number, so it can't be divided by 2. Let's try our trick for 3's. We have to add up the digits. 1 times plus 7 is 8. 8 can't be divided by 3 evenly, so it's not divisible by 3. Let's try 4. Let's count by 4's. Let's do multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Not by 4. How about by 5? It doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, so 5 is not one of the factors. 6, we can count by 6's, find the multiples. 6, 12, 18. Nope, it's not looking good here, folks. Let's try 7's. 7, 14, 21. Nope. 8, 16. Kind of looking like this is a prime number, and it turns out that it is. So these are just some tips and tricks to help you figure out whether a number is prime or composite.